dare I say, battle cruiser. I'm sure that someone will have my head off for saying that, but she could almost qualify for being a battle cruiser. Let's see here. So I've spawned on the left with a Mass and a Megami. Tier 6 and 7 game. Mass, Yudachi, Kangaroo, Helena, Edinburgh Lion, Colorado, Vladivostok and Bismarck. I think I'm going to go left. Well, they did call her a battle cruiser when she was first built, and then they changed the name of her to... was it a heavy cruiser? And so some people do get slightly offended if you call the Alaska a battle cruiser. Garmi's going right. Mass, which way are you going? If you don't... Spotted. No, mine not spotted anymore. Where are you going, Mass? Mass hasn't even started his engines up yet, which of course makes me cautious. Megami's pushing in on the other side, so that makes me a little bit happier. What's spotted? Vladivostok's been spotted in the centre, Edinburgh's been spotted in the centre, Kangaroo on the centre. Yeah, exactly, as you heard. Yeah. What have I got? I got Colorado. Okay, so I got my equivalent under the Washington Naval Treaty. And a Bismarck. Great, so 2 battleships versus me. I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to switch my gun sides and I'm going to probably head back. I don't think there's anything for me to gain from pushing down the flank here. Normally I would push in here and get some crossfire into sea, but if they've got 2 battleships, they're just going to be able to out DPM me far too much, especially with the thin all or nothing armour of the Nelson. I think if it was 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, I'd be more tempted to push up, but 2 battleships, 1 16-inch gun battleship and 1 15-inch gun battleship, especially with the Bismarck secondaries as well, the amount of DPM she can bring out. And it's probably a good idea that I didn't go that way now, because we've just spotted the Yudachi right where I was planning on going. It's a shame they didn't give Nelson spotter aircraft, because there was a point in their lives when they were actually fitted with spotter aircraft, and it would have been a nice little addition, but I guess you can't have everything. We might be able to get some... Colorado's moving the wrong way for me to be able to get some shots on. Just because he's constantly moving that way, I'm going to have to leave the target so much that it's going to go straight through the cliff.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
We've lost a lot of ships already. Looks like we lost a cruiser and a destroyer in the centre, and we lost a destroyer over at Alpha. It's the Colorado, still too much island in the way. And the Yudachi's backing up to try and get away from the sonar of the Mass. Still can't draw a line of sight. This is driving me mad now. You see, it looks like he's stopped. Let's go for that. $10,000 from just high explosive. Yeah, team's mounted very quickly. Yudachi's probably taking a punt at getting some torpedoes out on me. Colorado's gone. It's probably a bit nuts, but let's just get some British AP out in the Udachi just because the fuses. There we go.
We destroyed their destroyer.
Their Bismarck has just reversed since the start of the game. I think I'll go after the Bismarck. I'll try and back the rest of my team up. What's the chances their Bismarck's actually AFK? You wouldn't normally expect a tier 7 battleship to back up. This is a hard one to call. Oh, team's just melting fast. It's literally just our squad left. Well, our side, I guess you could say. Bismarck's now bombing it in. I'm going to quickly flick to the other side because I don't want to be. I want to try and keep this engagement as 1v1 for as long as possible. So what I don't want to be doing is heading towards the rest of their battleships straight away. He's nose on, which is interesting. Now obviously I don't want to close in too quickly, so I might just drop it to half speed, just because Bismarck is a brawler, and if he gets too close he will just punch straight through my armour, because remember the Nelson's a bit like a tiger tank. You got armour, angle your armour. However, if I slow down, that Valovisstok's going to catch up with me. Now the Valovistok does have a short range, so maybe if I just keep some speed on. So I'm having to make the compromise between, do I rush the Bismarck as quickly as possible and get into his increased DPM range to avoid the accurate shells of the Valovistok? Oh, did he slow down or did I just aim too high? Should I be faster than the Valovistok? I guess there's a good chance I am. Just going to nose in a bit more because he's obviously, yeah, he's aiming for my bow. He knows what he's doing against the Nelson.
Fire.
Thankfully Bismarck doesn't have torpedoes. Valovistok is getting closer. Gonna have to take some really dangerous risks now. I'm turning to angle myself between the Bismarck and the Valovistok in order to try and offer them both broad my armoured belt. Trying to get C turret on, that's nice. Switch to AP. Got torpedoes coming in. Still getting most of it off my armoured belt, which is nice. Time to get that heel off. He's going to slam it into the cliff. Is anyone else thinking Banzai? What's that turret reloading? It's going to be one of my front turrets because it's the one that got deactivated. Really strange position here. This is the end.
It's all on you.
Well, that's not going to be much longer, is it? Especially if that Vladivostok's paying attention. Yep. Oh, Edinburgh got me. Well, that was a painful display. I do apologise. Team just melted so quickly. tier 7 kangaroo was the first one to die on our team. Painful. Very painful. We only managed to kill 2 destroyers on that team. Ugh. Oh well. That's one game in the Nelson, I guess you could say. I do remember last stream we were talking about taking the Edinburgh out, and I just didn't get round to it. Not the Edinburgh, the Exeter. So we'll do that. Unless anyone wants anything else. Okie dokie. Here we go. As always, any questions, just shout. I'll try my best to answer them. Dare I ask, has anyone watching got a legendary ship yet? Has anyone else been brave enough to throw doubloons that way? Let's see. Game domination on the Atlantic. Enemy team: Icarus, Jervis, Aoba, Exeter, Leander, another Leander, New Orleans, New Mexico, and Eisenhower. So the Icarus is working with one of the Leanders and Exeter is working with another Leander. So there's a 66% chance that there's going to be a division on this flank then. And it's going to be consistent of 2 smoke cruisers. Taking the slow road to the legendary ships. Techie? Is that okay if I say that? Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I'm not going to be throwing any doubloons their way, I have to be totally honest. If it was a British legendary ship, then it would be shut up and take my money. But until they do that, I'm just going to take the slow road, but do the daily grind and just progress all of them a little bit every day. I still wonder if they, if the hint they gave that the legendary destroyer would be HMS Daring. I mean, because the way they said it in the stream, I took as a hint, but they haven't repeated it in the Q&A like report they did. So like after the Q&A, they then did it all typed up and just did the answers, and they completely skipped that. Because basically someone said, why do you hate destroyers? Because obviously they hadn't released the legendary destroyer, and I think was it Prince Blip or someone said there will be legendary destroyers coming to the game. It will be most legendariest, and there's only one ship with the word dare in its name, and that is HMS Daring, the Daring class destroyer, which is tier 10 in the PC. Am I going to be able to... I'm just a little bit too close to this island to flick it over. As and when they will bring just legendary destroyers to the game is not known either. And then the other one is they were talking about introducing the 6-inch gun Megami. So that's because when Megami class cruisers were originally built, they were built with 15 6-inch guns. That's what then inspired the Americans to build the Brooklyn class cruisers. Unknown to the Americans, the Japanese had built a load of 8-inch turrets in a warehouse ready to swap out. But they have hinted that the 6-inch Megami could be coming in the future as part of like a campaign reward. But the big question is which campaign, because I would be surprised if they did a Japanese premium ship for a campaign that covered August, so the July to end of August one. And the reason why I say that is VJ Day is in August. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. But the idea of releasing a Japanese premium ship over VJ Day doesn't really sit well with me. just seems to be sending the wrong message.
Smoke generator activated.
Ah, sure. Do you watch Greyhound? Is it any good? I think one of my friends or work colleagues, I guess you could say, is going to be watching that tonight, I believe. A techie, 155mm is nice. HE spamming fire starter. That's in regards to the 6-inch Megami. That's going to be really interesting because with the Megami, you're going to actually keep with the 6-inch Megami, you're going to keep the Megami's armor. So, although you're going to be a light cruiser by the classification of the Washington Naval, the London Naval Treaty and the Washington Naval Treaty. What you'll find is you'll be a tier 7 6-inch cruiser with the ability to bounce 15-inch shells, which is going to be completely different because none of the light cruisers at tier 7 can do that. Time to leave this one. Jord. Enjoyable and realistic. Oh, that's good to hear. I was partially concerned that Greyhound would just turn into a bit of a CGI, like overdone with CGI. It always reminds me, there was that terrible American film. I think it was called U-152 or something like that, where it was a complete fantasy film about how the Americans got the Enigma codes off of a German U-boat. Absolute fantasy story, and completely it almost took almost like the actual history and stuff away from the British destroyer that got the Enigma codes off of the U-boat. Because of course, so there's a film about this fantasy story, but there's nothing really about the actual real story. Yeah, it was it U-52 or U-152? It was a terrible film. It's the one where they fire a torpedo directly vertically up through the water. Yeah, in Greyhound, I expect there would be some CGI. Obviously, there's only so much you can really do with practical effects, especially when you're doing something on that scale. However, as long as it's done well, I guess you could say. As long as it actually works out to be a decent film as well, where you can actually connect with the characters. Because I think there was a synopsis of the recent Midway film, and that was one of the things that they pointed out was that you couldn't really connect with any of the characters. You kind of just jumped from one event to another event, from one character to another character before you could really be fully established with that character. Who's there? That smoke screen, the Benson. Well, that's got ages left then. I might go borrow it. However, they got 2 destroyers left. Ugh. Trying to work out what's the best play here. Maybe see if I can destroy this Jervis from within the Benson smoke screen. Hello. Possibly will stick my sonar on in a second. Yep, just in range. Because the Exeter has a 5.1 kilometer detectability of ships sonar range. So even that Exeter will be detected. However, also my detectability while firing smoke is 5.3 kilometers with Belfast as an inspiration.
Torpedoes direct front.
Okay.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes dead ahead. Torpedoes direct front.
Switch to the Leander.
Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes to port.
I'm getting loads of overpens, aren't I?
Torpedoes to port.
Use those repair parties.
Torpedoes astern.
Yeah, that should be alright from that. Don't know why you're laying a smoke screen X, so I can still see you. Joed, the Battle of the Atlantic is as important as more than Stalingrad. I'm convinced now. Well, if you want to learn more about the Battle of the Atlantic, I think Draken for Now has done it, and also there's another YouTuber called Lindy Beige. They've both done videos covering the Western Approaches Command. Both very good, interesting videos, and it's almost about how the Wrens almost fought the Battle of the Atlantic. And then if you're looking for a film, then I'd highly recommend Cruel Seas. Whether I made the right decisions that game is another question. Don't think we're going to win this one. What we got left? New Mexico. Is that KGV, is it? Yeah, and a Guidey. They've only got cruisers left, which is quite interesting, so it's almost one of those where if their cruisers make the wrong mistakes, we could actually turn this. But we need our KG-5 to get back in the action as soon as possible, because the New Mexico can't handle it on his own. And he's also getting picked off by the Leander and something else, so almost the Exeter's sacrificing himself in order to spot the New Mexico for his team. Yes, I did have a lot of overpen. I was experimenting, switching between the two types of shells at that range, just to see what I could get, almost like which one would turn out the best result. But I guess being my proximity to the enemy Exeter and the enemy Leander at those points, the trajectory of my AP shells was quite horizontal and therefore passed straight through the ship rather than hitting the citadels, because I think the citadel on both the Leander and the Exeter are slightly below the waterline. It's something I'm still testing, but something I really got to start bearing in mind is when I'm less than 6.5 kilometers from a light cruiser, or something that I know has a more hidden citadel, I need to actually probably just focus on using HE unless they actually turn bow on and I have the full length of the ship to penetrate, get the shells to penetrate through. It's all a learning process. I mean, I've been playing this, God knows how long. I've been playing for well over a year, and there's still mechanics and things to learn. But then that's what I like about it. It is a constant development, this game, and it's always changing as well. So that's why it's like sometimes you have to just have a couple of games where you do a bit of testing, and then you can then work out what's the best, how to deal with certain ships and how to play as a certain ship. I take it will be nice to finally get an armor viewer. Yes, it would. It really would. An armor viewer is, I know they say they're working on it, but the amount of effort that it's going to take to build it, I suspect it's going to be in the long run, and we might not see an armor viewer until 2021, It's just going to be how do they implement it. Joed, you need to be a minimum 7 kilometer range. Yeah, that's about right. It's about 7 to 6.5. It kind of depends on your gun caliber slash like muzzle velocity. Oh god, I'm gonna mess this name up. Dim Office. I'm gonna call you Dim. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but if you come back in the future, I will try and learn it. I will do. Do you have Vanguard? If so, could you play her next? Yeah, go on then. Although the last stream when I took Vanguard out, I made a bad turn and then got caught out by a load of Udachi torpedoes and then got absolutely decimated. And then it was Royal Britannia. Yes, Royal Britannia. I will play other ships if people ask, but otherwise I will just keep playing the British. Okay, let's try Vanguard one more time. Because I really messed it up last stream. The problem is, like, with Tier 7... Like, I have played... how many games have I played today? I think I played 2 or 3 Tier 7 games so far today. And it's literally just 5 battleships versus 4 Udachis. Or it's 4 Udachis, 4 battleships and 1 cruiser. So, it's not been... it's been interesting. Ideally, this is why I personally feel they should lock it to being. Oh, that's over. They should lock it so it is just 3 cruisers, 3 battleships, 3 destroyers, and then that way it will just make the games a little bit more even. Because when games are so heavily loaded just towards 2 classes, or even just 1 class, I guess you could say, it does make it a bit awkward. Okay, let's take the Vanguard out. Techie, the DD to any other class is really at Tier 7. 4 bad Udachi players. You're sure. The thing is, the amusing one is with Tier 7, if you take a cruiser out, it still works. But amusing what I'm finding is you find loads of destroyers in Tier 7, and I'm struggling, or at least I have been struggling for most of the day so far, to actually find destroyer players in the lower tier games. It's really weird. It's just, whether it's just, Udachi heaven, whether it's just Udachi heaven due to people having to do their Tier 7 win for the Bureau. Thankfully, I have the Udachi squad on my team, so I know I don't have to look out for that. But yeah, looking at the other team, torpedo boat, torpedo boat, torpedo boat, gun / mid-range boat, and Maiku connects off Bismarck, Alabama. So quite an interesting mix. I'm gonna have AP loaded from the start, I think, and oh, a lightning. Good choice, good choice. So hopefully the lightning can do a bit of scouting before I push up too far, because ideally, where are you going, lightning? Thing is, I'd rather play, like, if I was in the lightning, I would head over to the corner of that island first, and then I'd work out what's around the corner. Joed, Udachi has encouraged bad DD gameplay. Yeah, I would agree. The amusing one is, it's how many people are using Udachis as just suicide torpedo boats. And the worst part is, okay, they charge in, they fire all the torpedoes, then they do a reload booster, then they fire all their torpedoes, then they get killed. And where does that put their team? That's the thing. We had a game earlier where all their Udachis died really, really quickly, and then their team was just left with no spotting. Udachi number 1. I am just going to use that reload booster because I want that Udachi gone as soon as possible. I don't even care. I want him gone.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
There we go.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Well, that's two lots of torpedoes, but I suspect he's done a torpedo reload booster. Why wouldn't he? So, is the lightning swearing at me because I killed the Udachi? Okay, so there's no torpedo, second wave almost, so I am going to push out. Joed, yes. Kill that Udachi. Okay, I'm going to be broadside to the Bismarck, however. So aim for the deck line and fire. And fingers crossed, I should just disappear behind here. What's in the smoke? Connects off. Okay. So one of the advantages of the Vanguard is she does come with the very, very good heal. So you can see that I can heal about 20,000 there. Dim. What are your thoughts on legendary ships? I mean, if you don't have premium account, you'll be always losing money, and that sucks. Are they even worth it? Have they actually released how much it's going to cost to play? Oh, the bloody base! Have they even released how much it's going to cost to play a legendary ship? Because what's tier 7? Isn't tier 7 like 150? Right, I'm going to switch gun sides because I need to obviously start kiting back that way. Dread, they are worth it. I have seen them in action and they are beasts. That Bismarck's broadside on. That's tempting. Dread, 242,000 approximate for a legendary ship. Ship cost. Jesus. It's almost, yeah, it's almost going to be, you take him out and hope to get the first win, and then that'll be it for the night, probably. It's almost like how tier 7 was when I first started the game, when I was obviously still learning the game, therefore I wasn't, wow. Ooh, 10,000 on the Bismarck. That's the thing with the British AP, just aim for the deck line of a ship, and even, so you're not going to get citadels. Don't even bother. But if you aim for the deck line, then your AP is going to detonate inside the ship and it's going to really hurt. Turkey, it was said in the live stream, I think it was 200k for a legendary ship. I believe it's around 180 for tier 7. A name that was, I personally want some British flag camos so we can start colonising other nations. Oh, you knew that I took off my phone back. Just by putting the British flag camo on a ship, we can just go, and this is ours. Oh, Joed, I will look for the precise figures. That's fair enough. We seem to have a good mix of people in the quite knowledgeable people in the stream. I am going to switch to HE and see if I can pick something off, and I definitely have time for another heal here at the moment. So when they got the Akatsuki and the Z23, how the hell did they just get up there?
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Yeah, they have got ahead with some of the ship kills, and I'm not going to be able to get an Akatsuki range, am I? Oh well, just switch and burn out the Bismarck, which I should have probably really prioritised. Going off of what a name was saying in regards to British flag camos, I'd really like to see the white ensign as a flag that we could equip to ships. Just because I like the idea of, okay, I'm going to have to swap up my second beta flag, but the idea of having a double white ensign on my British ships, just over British them. The other one would be, it'd be nice to see some more permanent camos for TS or some other ships. I mean, I was really interested in getting some permanent camouflages for the British destroyers. That should be the Bismarck. There we go.
We destroyed an enemy battleship.
So I've got a Mayuku, which has just come into range. That's the Mayuku I was talking to. No, was it? Was it the Mayuku? No, it wasn't the Mayuku. I was talking about the Megami earlier. Because the Megami is the one that has the really funny looking bridge structure. It's got like a really tiny bridge on a really big ship. So I will fire that and then switch to AP. Oh, he's turned in. Of course he would turn in, wouldn't he? I don't think 15-inch shells are going to be able to do much to the bow of a Mayuku. Who's my friend here? I have a Akatsuki. Oh, okay, one citadel, and gone. That's alright, but I need your assistance. I need, oh, sugar, okay, right, we're gonna turn, and just, yeah, I know.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Hard left now, and I should swing. Oh. Okay, right, how many torpedoes was that? That's his full lot. That's the thing, always count the torpedoes from a destroyer, and the other one is good to remember their reload times. So he's not going to have torpedoes until about 7, say 5 minutes 40. Come on, get over here. I need you now, Yudachi. Sorry, chaps. Michael Scatton, if you have the flint, can you play her? Yeah, okay, can do. I'll line the flint up next. Come on, Yudachi, I need you now. Okay. I'm not going to race to get my rear turrets round, because I've had it so many times where destroyers show themselves in order to try and get you to turn out. Yep, I'm going to hold on to that flood. I will actually activate my repair party now. Yeah, he lined those torpedoes up with the intention of getting me to use my damage con. So now I can use my damage con. Can I play Eisenhower after that? I can play the Eisenhower next, but I can't promise anything special in it. And the Attigo, alright. So, someone make a list so I can actually remember this. So we have the Flint, followed by the Eisenhower, followed by the Attigo. Okay, alright, let's see what we can do with that. And we should have this in the bag, so... yeah, that's alright. The stream's gonna keep going until about 9:30. The reason why I have to end at 9:30 is because I have to go cook the evening meal, because the missus isn't home until 10 o'clock tonight. She's a care worker, doing like home care visits, so that means she works all sorts of hours of the day. And so when she's been out for a long day, I like to put tea on the table for her, basically. Well, 53,000 damage, so it's quite a low damage game. I guess you could say 3 kills. Third on the team though, which is fair enough. So I guess you could say I pulled my weight there quite nicely. And would have just about scraped out a profit if I didn't have premium. Yeah, 170 buying cost for tier 7. Very expensive. Rightio, so Flint. Let's see how that goes. And I have to just bear in mind how much I struggled with playing Flint yesterday, because yesterday I played the KG5 for about a solid hour, and then I completely forgot how to lead on the Flint just because how slow the shells are in the air. Teki, I am sure will be quite peckish by the time she's home. Yes, she usually is ravaging hungry. And usually she just eats and goes to bed, and then she's up at 6 the next day and off she goes. Yeah, it was the Flint, wasn't it? Yep, get one of those on. Tier 6 premium should make enough money out of it anyway, but we'll equip that anyway. Don't really need any of those. So there we go. Wish me luck, because I'm probably going to absolutely potato this from the start. At the start, as I try to remember how to lead. You almost have to, like in my mind, I have to shoot as if they're going 10 knots faster than they actually are. So I have to shoot a battleship as if it's a cruiser. I have to shoot a cruiser if it's a destroyer, and if it's a destroyer, there's probably not much hope of me being able to hit it at range. Oh, game domination on Haven. Yeah, we've only been going for 45 minutes. So, no destroyers now. Enemy team. Kagaru working with a Prince Eugen, Mayuki, Flint, Megami, Queen Elizabeth working with a Eisenhower, Turbot Sunstone, and Jean-Bar working with Prince Eugen and Kagaru. So basically, wherever we see the Jean-Bar, we know there's a Kagaru and a Prince Eugen as well. Tip: if you're going to division up, do try to make sure your division is of the same tier of ship, because the Queen Elizabeth here has been dragged up into a tier 6 and 7 game, and wow, like, she's well bottom tier. Now I know on the PC version they do the tiering system, as in like plus or minus 1, so say, but sure, no open water, and should be okay. Well, that's the problem. I think the Flint likes open water, because you have the smoke screen. So if you're in open water, you can kind of rely on everyone else doing the spotting while you pop up a smoke screen. Well, so you can see I'm doing the usual quarter speed, and then once I've got my second puff of smoke out, I can start firing, and I won't get detected as I continue to lay my smoke screen for another 12 seconds. I think I was watching a thing by the Mighty Jingles earlier today, which was in regards to, he was just talking about smoke screens, and I'm not sure if it's completely transferable over to the World of Warships Legends, but he was basically stated that the each puff of smoke is 450 meters in diameter. So therefore, if you're going to lay a smoke screen, you need to obviously make sure that you don't traverse more than 225 meters between each puff of smoke, and I think each puff of smoke happens every 5 seconds. Of course, I've lost visibility on everything. So go on then. Again, that was amusing. 5 shatters, even though that was all against the water line. Let's try and get a few more turrets on. And I have got my sonar on just in case the Flint does chuck torpedoes at me. My smoke screen's running out, so time to hoof it. Right, I know vaguely whereabouts you are, so. And also, considering how badly my AP did against his broadside, I'm not really too concerned about firing and being spotted. Now that was from the Garmy who knocked out my turret.
Main turret critically damaged.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to look that up after this stream. Demythus. What do you think about carriers making their way into the game? I think if it's done properly, then it would be an interesting addition, and I could see myself being a player who really would enjoy aircraft carriers. However, if done badly, it is going to obviously damage the game. The same way that carriers can be quite a toxic conversation, I guess you could say, on the PC version. They need to obviously get the balance right between how effective aircraft are against ships and how effective ships are against aircraft. And also have it so that playing a carrier is fun, but at the same time playing against a carrier is fun as well. And also, if they're going to introduce carriers to the game, then they're going to have to think about how are they going to do the priority sectors, and they're already having issues with coming up with a way of doing priority sectors in regards to secondary armament. So now they did say they're going to be looking at having changes to secondary armament in regards to possibly having priority sectors later this year. I think they were saying. So let's just for the sake of it, let's just say November. I don't know if it is November, but let's just say November. So saying they do sort secondaries out by November, implementing that kind of idea of being able to have priority sectors for your secondary armament, then it'd be interesting to see how that works, because that would then have a knock-on effect on the what am I trying to say? That would then have a knock-on effect on how AA is going to work. The other one is going to be on the PC version. There's anti-aircraft fire cooldown. Basically, it's like a consumable that you can trigger, which obviously improves your AA. But also, on a lot of ships, there's a lot of AA modules. So, if they introduce aircraft carriers, I mean, a good way to do it would be to introduce a period of grace where you can swap modules out without being penalised for it, because obviously, especially say the cost of the module, I don't know what tier we could expect to see it from, whether it would be tier 6 and up, so that would be like the second module. So that means if they do introduce being able to have AA cooldown, that's 400,000 credits. I think it's like with anything, if it's done well, then it's going to be good for the game. And I am interested. Well, obviously my main interest would be the British carriers, and looking at the PC version, what we got, is it Hermes, I think, or is it Eagle? I think it's HMS Hermes, HMS Furious, HMS Implacable, HMS Audacious. I think there's a premium. What are the premiums? The premiums are Ark Royal, and is it Indefatigable? It'd be interesting. But then I guess what would we see? We would only probably see carriers at tier 4 and we'd only see like tier 4, tier 6 and legendary carriers. Unless they completely rework them and how they're tiered. Some interesting thoughts there in regards to carriers. Oh, Queen Lizzie's gone. I'm seeing our base is getting, well, not our base, but our capture point's getting captured. So it's got to be a destroyer. So it's got to be the kangaroo. I might as well see if I can go find him. Team's mounting very, very quickly. And although it looks like I have a decent amount of health bar, that could disappear very quickly, especially with a Jean Bar lingering around as well, I think. Yeah, so the Jean Bar's still lingering around, so's the Goliath House, so's the Prince Eugen. Now I'm spotted by the kangaroo, but the kangaroo's capturing the base. Yeah, he's going to be here somewhere. I think we are looking... Oh, kangaroo disappeared, so I suspect it's that island there. That's the only thing within detectability range that you could probably nip behind and then, yeah, nip back out. I'm going to try and... uncontested, so I know the kangaroo is definitely over there. The problem I'm facing is that every time I switch to move over that way, there's a good chance that the Jean Bar is looking at me, especially being targeted. Yeah, there we go there. However, let's try and do this. One more volley like that, and that should be the kangaroo. Now, I'm going to hold on. Yeah, let's pop that fire off. The Jean Bars fired another volley, but we should be able to dodge that one. I'll recapture this. That flint's gone. It's going to be a very strange game. Whether or not we could put it back, I don't know. I think they've got enough. They got too much DPM down on the map. The Jean Bar's taken up a really good central position, and we've got nothing that can really hurt him apart from the Udachi. But we can't really get the Udachi to chip in. I'm way over leading the Prince Eugen. Here's hoping propulsion mods help. You know what? We're proper on smoke screen.
Smoke generator.
Hoping we can get something on the Prince Eugen, but at the moment, one minute he seems like he's going too fast, next minute it feels like he's going too slow. Am I not leading enough? Zoom in. That's not leading enough. That's leading about right. That was about right, but not on the right course. And of course, as he's getting closer, how much I have to leave the target changes as well, because the trajectory of the shots goes from being quite high arcing to quite low arcing. Well, this is going to be a horrible death. Just because I have a hunch the Jean Bar's that way. The Jean Bar is now in sight. Okay, we'll do that. I'll see if I can pinwheel this. Our Udachi has like no health. I can't really blame him for playing the long torpedo game. Boom. Oh no no no, I didn't die. Oh, I feel blessed. There's no point in me damage conning. I'm just gonna get donkey punched everywhere. Come on, get it over and done with. Yes, okay. It's games like that when you know you're gonna die, just get it over and done with. But hey, still came out of that all right. Still made quite a pretty penny. Made a very pretty penny. 400,000, well, 440,000 with premium. So yeah, if you've got a premium ship, a premium tier 6 is going to make you quite a good chunk of credits. If you don't have a premium tier 6, then you probably want to be looking at playing like a tech tree tier 5. Got Eisenhower next, wasn't it? Where is it? I've not played the Eisenhower in a actual. Let's give it a go. Is there any way I can? No, I can't even lessen the blow. This is. Right, wish me luck. Now I have got to grind this ship out, so I might as well pop that on, might as well pop that on. What's that look like? Oh, it's quite pretty actually. I think Eisenhower is one of those ships that I don't see it in the permanent camouflage that often actually. I see the buy-in is permanent camouflage. Eisenhower looks quite pretty in it. I'm just thinking. Let's do that. Oh, good lord, I don't know which one to pick there. Don't. That's tempting just because your dispersion's so bad. Let's give this a go then. So this is an unupgraded Eisenhower. Oh well, we've got about an hour left of the stream. Joed, too much dispersion in this ship. Well, don't tell me that just as I go into a game. You can see how much I've played the Eisenhower. Or Eisenhower. Eisenhower or Eisenhower? I think it's Eisenhower. Dallas and Jervis. Pilot guy, Von Hipper helps a bit versus Celiax. Okay, I'll bear that in mind in the future. I'll have a look out at that. The reason why I've gone Celiax inspired by Hipper is because that allows you to almost like stack on the secondary range stuff. But I'll take a look at Hipper briefly after this and just see if there's a commander build there that I'd like. By the guy, dispersion is more improved, and I assume that's in regards to the using von Hipper. Joed, broader build with Celiacs. Yeah, that's what I've gone for, but I haven't played it much. I am a little bit of... Oh, why am I only doing half speed? It's like I'm deliberately trying to die slowly. I know it was. If you hide, he's good as well. Oh, if I have hide, that's the Halloween commander, yes. Okay. Now I haven't upgraded hide. He's still at level 6. So maybe something to consider for the future. There's so many commanders I've got to rank up in, like, here and there. Let's do that, and then switch to AP, and then I have to try and remember that I'm in a German battleship and not a British battleship. Oh, hello. Oh, damn it, I'm just gonna do what people would normally do in Gnizer House. To be honest, if the masses fired its torpedoes, that should be it. Oh, there he is. Go, secondaries, go! Because I can't hit anything. I know it was, because Hyde has the secondary improvement as well as dispersion improvements. Ah! Okay. Now that does sound interesting. Might have to check that out. I'm gonna potato into an island. Saxman, hello. You've turned up just in time to watch me do terribly in a Gneisenhower. Let's see what I can get out of that. An overpen along the length of his ship. Kind of hoping that because he was not broadside, I'd have a good chance of maybe being able to get the shell to detonate along the length. And then it was. He's the most flexible German commander. I'm really gonna have to take a look at that. Sure, terribly is an understatement. Oh, okay, it's that bad. I just don't. I haven't played the Gneisenhower. Free overpens. Well, if you got to learn a ship, you got to play it. Even if you play it badly. At least then you know what to not do next time. And the problem is, I've then got to try and work out what to actually do. Saxman is a great brawler. I hope so, but at the moment I can't push any further forward because there's a mass. So it's just Torpedo Alley down there. Joed. I played the Gneisenhower once and I Knew it was not for me. I kind of know that feeling. The thing is, wow, like the Scharnhorst I've heard is quite good, and ironically I kind of think maybe they should have made the Scharnhorst like the tech tree ship, because Scharnhorst is how this class of ship was actually built, and then they should have made like the Gneisenhauer's like a what if premium, and obviously then just made it better. Pilot guy, that was my fault for requesting it. The playstyle of the ship is quite different from other battleships. The thing is, pilot guy, I don't play other battleships. I only play the British. I'm slowly working on the other tech trees, but yeah, but I have like the motivation to play the British because obviously I know about them, whereas with the other nations I don't quite have the inspiration. I mean, the best way to put it is I played the Russian tech tree battleships for the channel basically to review them and stuff, and since I've done that I've never touched them ever again. I enjoyed playing them, I really did, but I just haven't touched them again since doing all those reviews and plays. But they are captains. There are captains that master this ship completely, and they are able to delete a DD at 10 to 10 to 12 kilometers. Experienced it. Oh, vicious. Maybe if I did play it more, but no, well, maybe if I did play it, it's because even just playing it is playing it more than I normally play it. I'm really potatoing this hard. I think, I don't know. I mean, I have played brawling battleships before, but it's usually been Warspite or some of the low ones. No, it was. Problem was Scharnhorst's good luck getting citadels against other battleships. Much. Well, Scharnhorst was known as the lucky ship by her crew. She was known as Lucky Scharnhorst. Demosthenes? I see you have a small community in here. That's nice. I've got to go though. Do you do live streams often? I haven't been doing live streams regularly, although it is something that I am starting to look at doing. But as yet, I haven't set like a day or a time for doing it. At the moment, it's more like it's just as and when the missus isn't home, or the missus has gone to bed early. But yeah, I would like the idea of being able to just pin it down and just say I will do this for that evening or something. I've seen those commanders too. They figured out how to play it effectively from Pilot Guide in regards to the Gneisenhauer being able to delete destroyers at 10-12 kilometers. Joed, you play better than the majority of your team. It's a difficult ship. I don't know, maybe I got lucky, maybe. If your Captain Hipper is high level and you use him on Celiacs, let's see, I think both my Hipper and my Celiacs are level 12. I'm not sure what their legendary status is. It's a great secondary build. So I'm trying to I got Celiacs and then using Hipper as an inspiration. But some people are saying maybe using Hyde. That sounds like quite an interesting one. Name it was. I mean that you don't get much citadels against other battleships. I'm used to that. I play in the British. I'm used to not getting citadels against enemy battleships. I think that might be why. Maybe I should look into getting the Scharnhorst at some point, because I suspect I'd get on with the Scharnhorst more because I'm more used to that kind of play style of aiming for the deck line or and things like that. However, you'd have to bear in mind that it doesn't come with the British AP, so I can't fluke it against the destroyer occasionally like I usually do. I'm not quite sure here. I think I'm gonna have to try and do something against this Eisenhower to try and stop him pushing our destroyer. However, I have to also constantly bear in mind that I have this Eisenhower on my left. So what I don't want to do, I don't want to charge around too far, or else he's going to be able to get a broadside on me. And looks like I might be able to push the Eisenhower off. Saxman, lol, I'm used to getting no citadels. I am! If you play British battleships, you just don't get citadels against enemy battleships, because it's all about, because the armor piercing has the shorter fuses, and therefore you're more focused at aiming to punch through the deck line. Okie dokie, what's the situation? It's me and another Gneisenhower. This is a Gneisenhower heavy game, wasn't it? Well, we got 2. They got 3. I was going to say, it feels like all I've seen is Gneisenhowers. So I've got a full health Eisenhower charging down on me. Joed, Eisenhower is the turtleback turtleback armor in the German. Oh, the best turtleback armor in the German line. Not outsourced to China. The secret is to burn her. I'm saying that, but I'm sure a bit of British AP will do a good number on her. It's alright you saying that, but if you take one look at my health bar, you're going to realise that I'm not really in a decent position to actually stop Eisenhower. That's on full health. My only hope is probably just to titillate the enemy Eisenhower to the point where he comes back down here. They burned me. Yes, that's true. But then it was a Dallas, and the Dallas is only ever going to burn enemy ships. But yeah, no, that's an interesting one. Okay, that was lucky. Let's just go for the base. That's my best chance. He's out of range, so I need to actually just make sure I don't offer broadside because it's going to be plunging fire. So there, Eisenhower's getting out of range. I'm going to go this way because I know the mass is over there. If we can stop them getting points from their base, then we should actually be able to put off a victory. I mean, this Wargaming, please fix the numbers at the top so I can actually read them when I put them against the sky. Because look, I can't tell the sky, especially the timer as well. Oh, getting desperate because they know. They know they've got to try and kill a ship, and obviously the easiest ship to kill is going to be me. And if they do kill me, then they will actually flip the game. I don't want sky blue numbers, but I don't want white numbers. They should really give the numbers like a shadow behind them. So that means most of the time you see white numbers, but if you put the numbers up against a white background, there should be a slightly darker background to the shells. And then with Scharnhorst guns aren't only 280. Scharnhorst guns are 11-inch guns as built, and then the what did I come? I came 5th. Mid-table. I'm happy with that. Armor only, yes. So yeah, Scharnhorst comes with the smaller caliber guns, same turrets on the Graf Spee. The Scharnhorst looks prettier, I think, as well. Joed, I was wrong. You did well. Considering that's my first real versus standard game in the Gneisenhower, I'll take fifth. I still have a lot to learn in regards to the Gneisenhower. So that may have been a bit of a poor show. So let's see. Here you were talking about precision build. Yes, yeah, because you can get the pilot guy. Gneisenhower struggle against British AP. Struggles against British AP. Pilot guy, not a bad game. Oh, thank you. Don't look at my HIPAA build, I was messing around with something. But yeah, I can see it being a slightly more precision build. And then the name of it was you were suggesting Hyde. Yes. Yeah, no, I think name was you're onto something. I think Hyde is Hyde is a better build for German battleships because, like you were saying, you get the Porcupine, which allows you to then do the secondary build, but then also you get Marksman, which does improve your dispersion at long range. And then combine that with inspirations of Andrew Cunningham and HIPAA. Yeah, no. That's a good shout. Well, I all know who I'm going to be ranking up next. Joed. Scharnhorst is a dancer. She has a different playstyle. Yes, yeah, definitely. Pilot guy. Oh, don't have Hyde, but he looks like the best of the three commanders on the paper. Yeah, he does. Hopefully they bring him back out for Halloween. Saxman. Oh, how did you get Hyde? Hyde was a campaign reward October 2019. It's part of the Halloween campaign. Fingers crossed they bring him back this Halloween. So keep your eyes peeled for that. As you read, long range, you use HE to soften the prey and use islands to get into brawling range. Okay, that's something to bear in mind. Someone said a Targo, didn't they? Oh, I am going the right way. Saxman, crap, I started in November. Laugh out loud. Don't worry. What goes around comes around. I mean, Atlanta finally came back to the game. It only took them a year. Had to go. Here we go. Yep, get one of those on. Yeah, put one of those on. Shouldn't need anything else. Upgrades, take that off. Yeah, take that off. I'm gonna stick with my Mikra build because Joed did. You asked like a while back about using like basically covering off Japanese commanders, cruiser commanders, and I did make the start. So as you can see, I've got a Yamato, Mikoa, and Atago all ranked up to level 12, so I could also do a comparison of them. I just haven't been able to find the time to sit down and start testing them. If we get a quiet patch next patch, I might cycle through the 3 different commanders and play the Mayuku and grind it out to the Megami, play the Megami, and then also play a bit more of the Oboe and just see which one, what builds I can come up with, and then do a review on them. So it's on the to-do list. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Pilot Guy, Atago is probably more in your wheelhouse. Yes, definitely. A heavy cruiser. I can play heavy cruisers. I do enjoy that. Joed, yeah, the pure survival build. Fair enough. Jordan, well, if it isn't the Major. Hello, my good man. Hello, Jordan. Your first time here? I can't recall your name previously in previous live streams, but I could be wrong. I do apologise if I'm wrong. Let's take the Atago out. So we've only got about half an hour of the stream left before I have to let you guys go and put the oven on and start cooking something up for the missus. So if anyone's got any requests for after the Attica, if not, I might take Cossack. Cossack could be interesting. Rushing through the centre of the map is a poor tactic. Do you see that note down there in the top bottom right? And you still see people do it. Right, spawned on the right. I'm going to play right, so I'm going to go to Alpha. Enemy team, Benson, Udachi playing with a Wichita and a Baltimore. That's a very strong squad. Straight away you can see that. Fiji, New Orleans, Richard Liu, Iowa, and another Iowa. George, the Cossack, you are a heretic, Major. No, playing the French would be heretical. The name was Attica Arsenal Skill Full Upgrade Boost it to 25% chance on the Attica and Megami. I'm gonna have to look into that one because that could be very interesting, making them, because I think they're already classified as Pyromanias. Pilot guy, Edinburgh if possible. I struggle in it a bit. Okay, it will be my crazy Reginald. I say Tywit, but I think the correct pronunciation of his surname is Twit or Twite. But yeah, I'll give that a go. Jordan, Major, do you run DD Cruiser or BBs more often? What's your main? My main is British, is gonna be the honest. I mean, if I had to talk about all the nations, I usually prefer DDs and cruisers. They're definitely my go-to, because if I'm gonna play battleships, I usually just end up playing the one nation. Is the best way to put it. I don't do too badly in other nations, but I'm definitely more at hand with the British battleships. Joed, French DDs are good, Major, especially Le Terrible. I don't have the Le Terrible, although she does hold the record for being the world's fastest destroyer, I believe. I do have the Agile. Well, they've kind of teased that they are going to release French. Well, they haven't said it. They haven't said they're going to bring French DD to the game. However, what they said is they're going to introduce a new line of ships for a nation. Which, well, there's only one nation with an outstanding line of ships, and that's the French. So, to take what you want from that, but I'm going to say, yeah, they basically said they will be bringing the French destroyers this year. The other one was they said there's going to be another tech tree split, and although I would love it to be the British heavy cruisers, I just have a hunch it's going to be something Japanese. I suspect if they're going to do tech tree splits, they're going to do it on the first two tech trees, which would be American and Japanese. And then they've also said there's going to be a new nation. When it comes to other nations, there's only really Italy outstanding, and Italy's going to be quite interesting. I do actually have a little bit of a soft spot for the Italian Navy. Name that was, but price of the skill is plus. But price of the skill plus 10% damage, but boost HE as well. I'll take a look at her abilities because I haven't really played around too much with them. I've got. What, 3? Yeah, I've got 3 tier 7 battleships all looking at me. Jared, IGN gunboats for sure. Yeah, no, that's my hunch. If they've done American light cruisers, the next one would be Japanese gunboat destroyers. I could have made a mistake there, I think. Or I just got lucky. don't quite like it here. I'm so used to having smoke as a cruiser.
All forces provide cover for that target.
Polyguy, I hope so. Japanese gunboats would be interesting. Yeah, no, they are interesting. I think I'm going to potato into here, but don't worry about that. From what I've seen of Japanese, now I don't play the PC version of the game, I have to admit that. However, occasionally I do like to watch a little bit of the Mighty Jingles, and therefore, I've got like a little like inkling every now and then of like certain boats or certain ships in the game, I guess you could say. And from what I've seen of Japanese gunboat destroyers, they do look like quite an interesting, different build. Saxman, my friends make fun of me because I only like captains with twist and track or intuitive. They call them training wheels. Laugh out loud. I don't know. I think it's a strong. Ooh, it is a strong ability. It is one that I usually look out for, and it's something that I don't really trade out often. So I wouldn't take any of. Wow. Just treat it as banter, I think is the best way to put it. Jordan, do IGN cruisers have good abilities? With carriers coming, it will be good to prioritise. Oh, I'm getting a little distracted. It would be good to prioritise ships with good anti-aircraft. If you want to prioritise ships with good anti-aircraft, you want to be looking at the United States cruisers. That's where you really want to be looking at. Joed, no, they are the best captains with powerful tools. Yeah, so Joed agrees. Definitely, twist and track and intuitive are quite strong abilities. And then it was every little piece of information is important. That again, that's something I completely. Well, if you've seen historic reviews and gameplays and stuff like that, I'm quite an evident person about collecting information, as much information as possible, whether that's knowing where enemy aircraft, well, not knowing where enemy ships' general direction are, or how many ships are looking at you. It can almost impact what you do in a ship. Polyguy, the ingenious ability is definitely a good choice for someone new to cruisers. I think it's a good choice for even if you're experienced with cruisers, because you can use it to do cheeky things. Like here, I know I'm not being targeted, so I can do something really quite silly and just go broadside, and then as soon as they switch target, well, they just waste their time because now I'm no longer spotted. But you can use it to take advantage of the enemy sometimes. Joed, only Japanese heavy cruisers can survive being chased by 3 tier 7 battleships. I don't know, I think Baltimore do quite a good job of that nowadays. And Hipper would. Hipper's got some nice armour, so she would probably be able to escape quite nicely. It's the lighter cruisers which would struggle, but the trick would be if you're in a lighter cruiser, your detectability is slightly less, especially if you've got like a stealth build. So you probably just focus on the running rather than the run and gun. So I think I've retreated enough now to almost like go rejoin my team. Still got 2 heals left, which is quite a surprise. Polyguy, Russian heavy cruisers would do okay as well. Well, you got to remember that the Russians are light cruisers, and also the Chapayev's armor's just got nerfed this patch. I haven't played it since, so I don't quite know what the overall impact of the change to the Chapayev's armor has been. I'd like to close the range a little bit more actually before I start firing on the Richard Lou. Right, he's now coming out, so let's just do a widespread. Just do a bit of aerial denial. Part of me is like thinking, okay, maybe I should shoot, you know, try and wear down the enemy. Another part of me is like, well, we have 2 bases. Is it worth me making myself known? As long as I don't get killed, I guess you could say. Partner guy, Chappie is still good even after the nerf, just got to play it more carefully. Name it was, Japanese cruisers are more dangerous than other ships in retreat. Yes, definitely with the number of rearward facing turrets. Although I need to start paying more attention to the game. Sure, agility is a plus in the Japanese cruisers. Yeah, no, definitely the kitey ability. Major signing off for today. Have a good one. Have a good one, Jordan. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Much appreciated, and I'll remember your name in future. Joed, yes, they are good in rear action. Yes, definitely. And torpedoes! Yay! That is why going for the torpedo module, I don't agree with it. I do think going for the base torpedoes that come with the ship are a stronger choice. That's alright, you're right next to him. Why didn't you... Come on. Iowa, you should be fine.
Many thanks.
What... Has anyone spotted their battleship, which is at grid 8-2? What the hell is he doing all the way over there? Is he AFK as well? Oh, my shells did land on target, they just took ages to get there. Let's try a bit of AP.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Oh, the New Orleans is gone. Iowa killed the Iowa.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Will do. What I might do, I might try and kite back down that way, see if I can try and split the Iowa's fire off. But obviously I don't want to be giving away points as well, so it's trying to find a balance between... So gonna hold off because he's slowing down. He's just fired, and I know he hasn't got a reload boost or anything like that, so might as well see if I can start getting some fires on the Richard Lou, whatever you want to call it, that French one, the French Nelson. It's always amusing to think that the French Tier 5 and Tier 6 battleships never actually got built. Saxman, did you happen to review the gameplay, any videos I've sent? I'm just wondering if there are any more corrupt endings. I haven't been able to check as yet. I've downloaded them all and I've got them all saved on one of my laptops. I really need to probably transfer them over to a hard drive, so once I have some time I will probably look into checking them out. I have to be honest, it's been a bit of a mad day at work. As you're out, the Lion. Yeah, the Lion didn't actually get built. She's a paper design ship, and then the Normandy class battleships, they started building them, and then the First World War happened, and therefore they couldn't really put the resources in or the manpower in to actually finish building them. And so what they did with the Normandy class was they just built them to the point where they could get them off the slipways, push them off the slipways so they could build other stuff at the on those slipways. And then after the First World War, they basically scrapped all the hulls of the Normandy class. So neither the Normandy class or the Lion class actually got built, unfortunately. which is possibly a good thing, because I think if Drakenfin now actually does a guide, I think, does it do a guide on both of those class of ships? But I think if they ever did build the Lion, the armor schematics of the ship were just pretty poor, I think. So we should win this game. The Iowa that reversed all the way up to the edge of his map has now decided that he's going to finally play, but because he reversed up to the edge of the map, he's basically removed that amount of DPM from his team. 37 seconds, I should be able to maybe get 2 more volleys out on the Iowa. Unless the Iowa's going to go for these... Oh, no. Got the points in the end. Is it Marine Nationale history is controversial? Yes, it definitely is controversial. We were talking about the Cossack, weren't we? Unless anyone else has got any other shout out for a ship. I think I've got all but 11 ships, and well, excluding premiums. I just want to see what the results were of that game, because I didn't really pay. Oh, 91,000 damage. Oh, okay. I thought I did worse than that. Second of the team. Yeah, so the buy-in even for a premium ship at tier 7 was 170,000. That's quite a hefty chunk. Didn't do too badly though. I'm quite happy with that. Many heated debates about Mers Al Khatib and Toulon. Yes, very, very controversial things. Oh yes, Edinburgh, yes. I think Drakenfin now does do a good cover of the Mercer Al Kabir. Is it Cadiz? I want to say. I might pronounce that wrong. He does do a good cover of basically what happened. Whether or not you agree with it is obviously a personal opinion. I want something decent. Need some pointers on British cruisers. Well, fair enough. Then it was Attigo Commander before you start. Yes. So, who was I using? On Attigo I was using Mikoa with Madden and Tenant as inspiration, so it's quite a health build. However, you were talking about Attigo. Plus 10% incoming damage, but a chance of fire and the HE damage. That is very interesting. And if you're going to use Attigo on maybe a higher tier cruiser, I don't know, I think either of those first abilities are quite both good, depending on what's your preference. I might still go Ingenious just because I do like having that ability. Also, the Ingenious ability does reduce incoming splash damage, so that might help counter some of the incoming damage there. I'd be tempted to go for Sponge. Then again, that's because I go quite defensive. Don't know. I think either of those are good choices, possibly, down to your preference. And then I'd probably go Reloader. That'll probably be my build if I was going to do it. Oh well, testing of Japanese cruiser commandos. Fingers crossed should happen next patch, if they don't drop any more tech trees or anything like that. So I should be able to look into that. This is going to be the last game. I'm just seeing the time now. Pilot Guy, if you've been following I think you have been following the channel for a while, so you probably already know about my original Tyrant build. I will stick a credit booster on there. Shouldn't need anything else. And going for a smoke build as well. So just to quickly show what's happened with this, with the build of the camera and everything. So obviously HP stays pretty much the same, gun range stays pretty much the same. The nice one here though is the torpedo range is 11.6 kilometers, and also the reload time is only 50.4 seconds. So you do get torpedoes back quite quickly. Maneuverability, yeah, it's all right. And then it's the concealment. So detectability firing in smoke is only 5 kilometers, and detectability at sea is 6.2 kilometers. And then it's the consumable, which is quite a nice one, and this is where I should really do this, because if I do that, that does reduce consumable reload time. So that would take my smoke screens down to 140. Polygon, I'll give him a try. Don't have him up leveled. That's fair enough. I mean, if I wasn't going to go for tie whip, what would I go for? I mean, just to be nice, I will actually try it, like show a different build of what I would do. I would go Tenant, Ingenious, because yeah, I like the Ingenious ability. Sponge, yep, steering gears fully packed. Inspirations. I would probably go Lucians and Mikoa. Yeah, I think if I wasn't going to go for my sneaky tie whip build, then I would probably do this, which is what I used to have. Yeah, so you're currently using tie whip, Tenant as well. So yeah, this is probably more what you're used to. Just got to make sure. Yeah, like Fortress, just trying to reduce that incoming damage. Right, okay. So this is probably what I would do if I wasn't using my crazy build. Just got to keep an eye on the time. Why not Fraser? Because Fraser I have kitted out for my Exeter and Belfast, because Fraser has the abilities to really increase the fire chance. And the other one is... So the tie whip build, I like yourself, I kind of really like having that ingenious ability. So the advantage of the tie whip build is because you always have smoke screens pretty much on demand, you don't have to worry about who's looking at you, because you should always be in smoke. Whereas if you're not using a tie whip build, then having the ingenious ability kind of makes a bit more sense, as just because you are going to be looking at quite a long cooldown between smoke screens. I'm going to go right towards Charlie, but what I'm thinking is I might swing a bit further out. Where's the destroyer? There's a destroyer kid. Hopefully the kid comes this way. Probably guy. Fraser makes sense for Belfast, definitely. Fraser, you go for Burn It Down XXL and Igniter, and you can really increase the fire chance. I'd also recommend him on Exeter, because Exeter has a very low DPM. With just overall, she has a very low DPM, and so by increasing the fire chance on the high explosives, you are just basically improving what DPM you can do, especially against battleships. So tier 6 and 7 game, of course. Akatsuki, Yadachi, Lightning working with a Kuznetsov and Alabama, so wherever I see the Alabama I know the Lightning's nearby. Mayuku, Atlanta's got sonar, Kuznetsov, Baltimore's got radar. Atlanta and Baltimore have radar, Gneisenau and Alabama. So I'm just going to pop on this island. And Saxman, yeah, your tie whip build is a brilliant idea. Proof of being the pudding, I should say. So tier 7 radar range is 9 kilometers, and tier 6 radar range is 8.4 kilometers. Druid, Belfast is superior to Fraser. You're in. I'm not completely sure I agree. I keep looking at the Belfast, but the Belfast commander, I still don't like her. It's because she doesn't come with any ability to give you more consumables, and I always want more consumables in a cruiser. That's why I prefer the tech tree, or the normal commanders, simply because they come with fully packed. Druid, you have spectrum of captains at the extremes. You have Fraser and Tennant, and in the middle you have Belfast. Yeah, but she still doesn't come with fully packed. That sounds so wrong, doesn't it? She's not fully packed, but but like that's really the make or break with the British cruiser commanders, because without fully packed you only have 2 smoke screens, 2 repair parties, and 2 sonar, and that's not enough to really last you a game. I'm just trying to make sure I'm giving the kid some cover. However, the kid's detected, and I don't want to push in there and try and help Atlanta though. There we go. Damn. The kid, did he play too aggressively? I don't know, I guess we'll never know.
Smoke screen set.
Gonna use that sonar just because we know we have the. Basically, we're up against the division plus. Pilot guy, kid was overextended. Yeah, I was wondering, especially against was it a lightning, which will come with sonar, which has a range of 3.5 kilometers. You should always try and bear in mind what destroyers have sonar, just so you don't overextend yourself against them. It's always amusing to see that your team is melting away. Part of the guy, sonar got him, yes, yeah, definitely. That's why I really like the British destroyers, is because you do have sonar. As you read, charging and the Atlanta, there is no more aggressive than that. Atlanta, why are you not using your radar? Because you used your torpedoes. You know what? Definitely within my detectability range of firing and smoke. What's my options? Turn right and try and back up my battleship, who's actually already started to retreat. I will just do a wide band and just see if I just cover off some of this island. And I'll let the fire burn because it's only going to burn for 30 seconds and I've got a lot of health left. Oh, that's the Alabama. Oof. The other one you got to try and remember is with the Edinburgh, she does have quite a monster of a repair party. So you have to try and like fight that desire to put your repair party on. I've now come to the edge of the map. Usually I'm not being targeted. The Alabama's decided not to target me. Baltimore. Quickly try and angle. I mean, I should, with the Edinburgh, I should be alright to try and angle against. Let's use that repair party before it's too late. He's now flicked out. Let's see if we can hit him with that. Yeah, he turned in earlier. I really don't want to cross the front of our battleship because that would probably really annoy him. Just because I'm expecting it. Oh no, he's here. Let's get the hell out of here. Druid, the matchmaking at tier 7 is ridiculous. Right, is atrocious. I don't know, it's quite a cruiser heavy game. Where's the Atlanta? That's what I want. There he is. And then I have the Baltimore. Oh, and we have the lightning. Oh, we have everyone. Let's try and get the lightning. Let's get that on. Oh, good lord. Can we thread the needle? Yes, we can thread the needle. Oh, someone else joining in as well. Come on! Oh, the main reason I like the Belfast Commander is the extra range or penetration depending on if I'm using Edinburgh or Belfast, but my true motive / reason, you like the voiceover. You do, don't you, actually? You like the Azura Lane voiceovers because I've seen your submissions with that. Oh, I didn't die! Top of the team, hey, because I didn't die. I would have made a loss. Oh, God, that game was just horrible and a bit tense at moments as well. Well, it's 9:27, so that is the last game. I am going to have to start cooking the evening meal. Good lord, one of our cruisers only got 198 XP. That's horrible. And the Udachi at 350. Jesus. There's some really low scores on my team there. Good game to end on, yes. Brilliant game actually, well, not a brilliant game, but managed to squeak it out in a Edinburgh. And name it was. Good night. I am going to sleep soon as well. Have a good night. Name it was. Let's say thank you to everyone who's turned up. Much appreciated. Gerard, the Exeter. I'm sorry. I really can't. If I play one more game, the missus will not be very happy when she comes home and finds there's no food. So, as I was saying earlier, happy wife, happy life. Saxman, have a good one. You too, have a good one too. Much appreciated. I'd like to say, yeah, thank you to everyone who's turned up. Thank you, Joed. Name was Saxman, Jordan, Pilot Guy. I'm just going to quick scroll up now because I'm now. I did say Jordan. Yeah, I think I can't. I'm just scrolling through the chat to see if anyone else dropped a message, but I can't see. Oh, Dimoffs as well. I think I've captured everyone. If I haven't, I'd like to just say thank you to everyone again. Hope you enjoyed the new way of announcing the streams. Fingers crossed that went better this time for the first time. But until next time, I've been the Galloping Major, and back to the port.